Shalom to the Israelite community. Alright, who don't want to see us as Israelites? You know, it's two distinct ethnic groups that control the Israelite heritage, and I explain over and over. You know, I got a few videos on explaining how these two different ethnic groups got into our heritage. You know, I show how the Sephardis, come into our heritage in 722 BC. And, they come from Sephardi. And then I show how Ashkenazi got into our heritage during the Babylonian Wars under the name Scythian. Their original name was Scythian in ancient history. And, they chased us out the promised land by the order of the Creator. But these are two different distinct ethnic groups. The Ashkenazi gonna be more or less on the Caucasian like level, whereas the Sephardi, man, it's they all the ancient tribes that we didn't destroy and so forth, and they're what you call Semitic, half and half. They half and half all the tribes that we didn't get rid of when we exodus Egypt, and they're what you consider Arabic. You know what I'm saying? Arabic. And it's a long history dealing with both groups, but I'm gonna try to make this real simple. Which group don't want to see us as Israelites? And I can easily show that, how once upon a time, Sephardi, man, he lived in all the Muslim countries and lived in Africa and been around pygmy peoples for a long time. But, man, for some reason, they don't want to see us as Israelites, and how we got a better chance of being seen who we are by Ashkenazi. Now I done live with them for, a couple of months in the promised land, and some of y'all done seen some of them videos. And man, I done stated my Israelite heritage to them and walked around with the crown and everything, and how that, man, they didn't have no problems with it. Some of them might ask why, but basically they ain't have no problems with it. But I'm going to tell you who don't want to see us as Israelites. It's the Sephardi groups, and how that they done had a long time to recognize us as Israelites, and then how that they done recognize all the other pygmy folks, from China to India to Africa as Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And how that they done seen all the other ethnic groups, man, as Israelites. But for some reason, they don't want to see us as Israelites, the true Israelites. And I'm going to explain why. Because, man, they think that their dominance over the Israelite heritage, it will come to an end, and basically it's gonna come to an end for both groups. But they are vehemently against our history. Man, I made a video, man, about how Abram Henry, or whatever his name, a Jewish historian, a Sephardi, how he made plenty Israelite videos, man, about Israelite history, and not one time have he ever mentioned that the Israelites ran into Africa during the Babylonian Wars. And then this is what I want to explain to the Israelite community, is that how, Islam is kind of like created by Sephardi. You know what I'm saying? I can show without a question of a doubt that all the Jewish tribes was in Saudi Arabia, or Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula, and Jordan, way before Islam was created. And that how that the Muslim peoples that converted to Islam had to get their knowledge, man, about the Israelites from somewhere. And it's easily understood. Look, there were three main Jewish tribes in Medina before the rise of Islam in Arabia, and it goes off to name those tribes, right? So we know that, that Islam gonna had to get its Israelite history from somebody, and it's none other than the Sephardis. And then how I explained that how the Sephardi created Islam for proxy war against Christianity. Now, I can easily show that how Christianity embraced Ashkenazi as the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Embrace Ashkenazi as the Israelites. That's why you got white images of Jesus or Caucasian images of Jesus and so forth. And how did they set on pushing a Caucasian image of the Israelites gonna be Christianity, because I showed that in the Discopolis cities before Christianity was created, that they were the people, surrounding Christianity, and Christianity was created up under Ashkenazi control. He done learned a lot from the Sephardi's on how to create religion, and these two groups been in our heritage since the Babylonian Wars. Well, been in control of our heritage since the Babylonian Wars. But then I show how the Sephardi's Amorite heritage and how that they been in our heritage since Exodus. I got videos explaining this, but this what I wanna explain is that the proxy wars that's going on now, man, between Islam and the Jewish state, is gonna be basically, man, between Sephardi and Ashkenazi, and how Sephardi is in the background, waiting till his creation get rid of Ashkenazi, which is the war going on right now. As I show that Sephardi lived in Islamic countries, you know what I'm saying, man, forever, and live there now unmolested. Unmolested. You know what I'm saying? Live in Islamic countries unmolested right now. And that how some of them chose to go to the promised land, but because it's Amorites that always been their land, and that how that they can function under Ashkenazi, but they just don't have no power to lead the Israelite heritage and make the major decisions. That was lost to them when Christianity come about, and then basically during the Crusader Wars, and then that's basically what that was about. But I could show that Islam always accepted Sephardi, and look at the Sephardi as Israelites. And then, right now, that if Islam defeat Ashkenazi in the promised land, that war going on, that how that Sephardi is not gonna see us Israelites as the chosen people, and how we supposed to come back home, and that how that they are not going to recognize us as Israelites is because, man, they been had the chance, men, to do it. They been had the chance to recognize us as Israelites for 400 years, man. They recognized the Africans as Israelites. They recognized the Limbas, the Igabus, and let me see, the Limbas, the Igabus, and the Ethiopian Jews. They recognized them as Israelites, and then they recognized the Japanese, the Chinese, the folks in India as Israelites. And they recognize a whole bunch of peoples as Israelites, but it's basically they converts, and that how that they ain't never had a chance to convert us Israelites in captivity, which wouldn't make no sense, us converting to our heritage and so forth that belong to us, which some Israelites, have. But, Ashkenazi, we got a better chance of being seen as Israelites because, they know. They know. I was among them, and they knew. It's like unspoken, that, man, I ain't basically have to say nothing, that they know who we are. You know what I'm saying? And that if Islam put them on their last leg, that I believe that Ashkenazi would have to bring us in. Would bring us in just to destroy Sephardi from having control of the Israelite heritage. Yes, that's the way that I believe that it's gonna play out. That if Islam get the whooping on Ashkenazi and Ashkenazi see that it's over, that we got a better chance of coming in our heritage under Ashkenazi, because we not going to be able to come in, man, up under the Sephardi and then try to get rid of the Edomites in our heritage, because they fused in with the Edomites. I can show men in history how John Hornicus, men converted to man converted all the Edomite tribes, to men to Judaism. You know what I'm saying? So we not gonna have no chance, men, to coming into the Israelite heritage if Edom is a part of the Israelite heritage, because we supposed to destroy the Edomites. You see what I'm saying? So, we not gonna get a chance, men up under the Sephardi, because they are the people that we abandoned our heritage to during during the Babylonian wars, and how that they had total control of our heritage. See, but whenever you look in the Jewish history, and then they say that look, John Hornicus also initiated a military campaign against the Edomites. During his campaign, Hornicus conquered, he conquered the Edomite lands. He wasn't nothing but a Sephardi, and how Hornicus forced converted on the Edomites to Judaism. That's gonna be these folks right here. You know what I'm saying? That's Edom in the Israelite heritage, and that how we not gonna be able to come into our heritage up under them, because in the book of Obadiah, it's a prophecy that we gonna get rid of Edom and control our land. Well, if Islam win this war that they got going against the Sephardists, is how we not gonna be able to come into our heritage up under them, and how that they not finna help us, because we've been in captivity 400 years and they know who we are. They know who we are. So you Israelites, I don't know, I done seen a whole lot of Israelites having sympathy for the peoples that's getting it by Ashkenazi men today, and not knowing that that's part of prophecy, because if Ashkenazi start to lose real bad, I believe that Ashkenazi would want to permanently cripple and destroy the Sephardi's from having control over the Israelite heritage. See, if Islam take control over the promised land, as then happened plenty times in history during the Crusader Wars, that whoever controlled the promised land get to dictate what the Israelite heritage should be and have control of it. So the Sephardi's will be comfortable in the promised land under Islamic rule. But how that they not gonna be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, if we get in our heritage and we start claiming the Israelite heritage. Why? Because Edom is in the Israelite heritage. You see, Edom controlled the Israelite heritage, and they not finna be cool with us coming into our heritage, and how that they done had 400 years to recognize us as Israelites, and they ain't never did it. Not one time. If you say you're an Israelite, man, to them, they gonna get hostile, get infuriated. I was at the airport with one, and I'm explaining how we Israelites, you know what I'm saying, to this one fella, and one was next to me, man, and how he just turned around in pure hatred and didn't like nothing what I was saying. He didn't challenge me, but you could tell the expression and the body language that he wasn't cool with the thought of us being Israelites, the people from the transatlantic slave trade. And then I could show how we are the Israelites easily. I got plenty of videos, man, about how we the Israelites, and how we ran into Africa during the Babylonian wars, basically tricked out our heritage by the Egyptians. The Egyptians tricked us out of our heritage, and tricked us off the land. And man, we ain't been back since, because we know that the curses had to take its course. But now that the curses is uplifted and we can see and we can do better, and that how we have a desire, man, to come home to our land, Well, these groups right here is not finna help. They is not finna help. So if any one of you Israelites rooting for Islam to win, which we want Ashkenazi to be took down to the level, man, to where he don't have no choice but to bring us in, because he gonna want to destroy the Sephardi from getting control of the Israelite heritage in the land through Islam, which I showed that, the Muslims always lived, among the Jews, but it's these, and that how Ashkenazi ain't gonna be comfortable in the Muslim lands and so forth. As you see now what's going on with the Jewish state, the war that they got going on. You see what I'm saying? That's a fight against Ashkenazi. That's a fight against Ashkenazi while Sephardi is laying in the background. He in Muslim countries right now kicking it and ain't nothing happening to them. And that how the Muslims know the difference. You see, they know the difference, but they ain't gonna teach us the difference, and they ain't gonna teach us that they know the difference. And how Ashkenazi is not gonna be comfortable under Islamic control. He is not finna be comfortable, and he finna get chased out the land. As the Sephardi through Christianity, the Catholic Church, and then chased plenty Sephardians from all over Europe, through Spain over to the Americas, and then they come over to the Americas, man, and get at them, and chase them all the way to the Muslim country. That's why they had to create Islam, so they could have a place to live comfortably without the threat of Ashkenazi creation, Christianity coming in, taking over, and then doing them wrong and so forth. So, you Israelites about to get this understanding that, we are not going to be able to come back into our heritage under the Sephardis, because the Sephardis are what? Fused with Edom. See, fused with Edom during the campaign Harnicus converted, forced conversions of the Edomites to Judaism. And then how it's an oracle to destroy Edom. So it wouldn't make no sense for these folks to bring us into our heritage knowing that we're going to get rid of them. See, I could show in Tanakh how Ashkenazi, I think it's Genesis 9:27, and Ashkenazi is a descendant of Japhet. That's his grandson. Gomer going to be his father. And that how that, that they can live in our heritage, and the prophet even said, man, that they can stay there. The Ashkenazi will dwell in the tents of Shem. So you Israelites, if you're voting and got your heart set on Sephardim or Sephardi, or you identify with them in any kind of way, is that you is lost and you don't know really what's going on. And you can see by what I'm telling you and look in history that Sephardi always lived in Islamic countries and been comfortable there and ain't been molested and ain't been going through no troubles. But how that if they got control of the land through Islam, how they not finna bring us home and how they not finna see us as Israelites, because they done had 400 years to do so. And that how that they recognize the Chinese as Israelites, man, they recognize the different African tribes as Israelites, but how they would not recognize the true Israelites as the Israelites. And that how, man, they don't want to do that. They is not going to do that. Sephardi is not going to see us as Israelites. So, but because they got the Ethiopian Jews who follow them, who like a servant in the promised land. I done seen them picking up trash, and that's all they do, carry boxes and pick up trash and sweep and do all subservient stuff. And that how that they not in the lead in no capacity in the promised land, walking around, and how half of them, many won't even say nothing till I found one that I had to make a video about because he was hollering, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. And when I told him that, we Israelites too, that how he wasn't against it. So, it's some, Ethiopians that, know the truth, but the vast majority of them, man, they gonna shy away from you and they gonna turn their nose up at you, even though they are servant men in the promised land. So they are part of the Sephardim's creation, and I got a video showing how the Edomites went from Yemen over into Ethiopia right there. The Yemenite Jews, as I showed it, Jewish tribes, the Sephardi has always been in Arabia before Islam, and now that they went over to Ethiopia and then, down and turned into the Limbas and the Igabus, and then how all across North Africa, if it's pigmented Jews, that they gonna come from the Sephardi stock. Now that's another thing, is that we Israelites during the Babylonian wars, when we abandoned our heritage, all of us, all the Israelites abandoned our heritage and went into Africa to do the Egyptian religion, and then how the curses got us, and then, man, it's easy for for us to be identified as Israelites, because all you got to do is look at the hardships on us, and in the Americas, and how did they line up with the curses. But Sephardi always knew who we were, even to this day, and they ain't never tried to embrace us as Israelites. You know what I'm saying? To bring the Israelite issue to an end. So, we got a better chance with Ashkenazi recognize us as Israelites if he want to destroy the Edomites once and for all out of the Israelite heritage, and then they live comfortably in our heritage, because we'll let them have Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv could be theirs, but everything in the south, man, it be ours. All right, Israelites, man, we got to wake up and get your heart set on, right. You know what I'm saying? That's like another thing. The Sephardi is behind the BRICS nation. What's going on in the world now today. What's going on in the world now today, that if the Eastern nations, who mostly is infused with the Sephardis, who are Edomites, win this Western and East battle that's going on through BRICS, man, that how, man, they not finna recognize us as Israelites, and our captivity can continue for a while longer. But if Almighty Yah bring Ashkenazi to the brink of destruction, I believe that they got a better chance of saying, hey, the real Israelites, man, is in America, and we're finna bring some of them over. And that how that'll end the whole Israelite and land issue that's going on now today in the promised land. Shalom, Hebrews. Y'all better think about this, that, Sephardi, he not been embraced us as Israelites, because he didn't embrace all the pigmented folks around the world besides us. You see what I'm saying? Whereas Ashkenazi ain't embraced none of them. He ain't embraced none of them, and he basically against all of them. All right, Israelite community, think about this, and let's get our act together.